Have you rode before, Cynthia? Oh, you're doing great. Drop the mat wherever you went. Good job, you. Matt, nice work. Taught Cynthia to be a great rower in like 5 minutes. Daryl, when you pull through, try to keep the wrists flat and let it be that the shoulder keeps pivoting around to get the handle to your back. Yeah, did you feel how it was a little different? Yeah. Feel like you got to use a little more lat in that?
It's different. I'm thinking out of me.
Yeah, you got it. Just keep those elbows wide.
Keep them open them up.
Open them up. I feel like you're trying to like pinch your shoulder blades together at the finish. Right? Here, I'll put my hand between your shoulder blades and you can feel like you're trying to pinch it. Yeah. Do you feel how like you're kind of grabbed on?
Okay.
I feel like you're trying to make that happen on every stroke.
Bring the
Nice little line.
yeah, looking good. You ever get around?
I couldn't get the flat strap just because my flat strap wasn't big enough because I had so many.
I mean, I could give you money if you want to buy one.
Really good pacing, Ryan. Just stay at this pacing, and this is going to be a good one in the future. Good connection, Brian. Make sure we're staying on the toes. Darryl and Cynthia, make sure you push through the toe at the finish, and that'll help keep you connected. Really feel like you're not falling out the back end. More aggressive and more whippy as you're able to add the momentum of the legs at the beginning to give this initial speed to what we're doing. But the reason we start from the back half is because it's really important to know how these work independent of the legs. Because a lot of people blur it or just use the legs as their main source of power. It really should be that continuing acceleration that maintains our power. Right? So, back, and then arms, or shoulders, hips, and now you're forward, and you want to, we'll take 10 strokes just with the hips, letting the arms hang, trying to use our body weight to kind of suspend against that handle. Okay, you got to keep good tension in the core, or else it'll start to tax your back. But right, you want to be able to feel that you're producing power and acceleration. That fan noise is a good thing. Right? You want to feel like you're producing that just with the hips. And you should feel like, oh man, I'm almost tipping over, right? You still want to keep that force on the toes so that you're kind of gripping so that you're not tipping over. But you should feel like there's this momentum that's pulling me, because that's when the hands come through. Right? There should always feel like there's momentum pushing you. And instead of you having to create momentum, you're taking advantage of it that's already there. Right? Obviously, all of it's created by you. The erg's not going to move itself. I wish it would. But you shouldn't feel, except at the very beginning where you're like, okay, nothing's happening and now it's all on me to drive. Right? There very quickly becomes a, okay, there's something happening here and it's my job just to stay up with it. Like to stay with it, the speed that I've produced. Okay, and as you become more powerful, more aerobically fit, more technically sound, you're going to be able to really produce some great numbers on the erg. But even now, you can still produce speed, right? You can produce quickness without necessarily putting in a ton of power or effort to do it.
And that's the goal?
That's the goal, right? So we want to be able to be quick, not necessarily like feeling like we're pulling so hard veins are ready to like explode in our neck or something. Okay. Because a lot of people confuse that. Like, oh, it's not moving fast. If I just push harder, it will move faster. Not really. It will, but it will still be just as crappy. So you're just working harder to make it not smooth. So you can make it smooth without putting in a ton of power. Make sense? Rowing is a weird balance. It's delicate. It's not, it is an alpha male sport where like people who love to work hard do great, but it's not just about mindless like moving. It's about figuring out how to make it work together. So yeah, you want to feel your hips moving and then hips and shoulders. Right? So this is the second phase of our picture. We'll take some strokes here, and then we'll go up. What's our next thing if we're going to move a little further up? It's going to be knees, right? Knees are our next joint, exactly. So shoulders, hips, knees. We only want quarter slide. It should just be a slight bend, okay? We're going to call this about half slide, 3/4 slide, and full slide. Full slide, our shin should be totally vertical, okay? So if this is 100%, this is probably about half, right? We want half to be where our knee makes 90, because what's going to happen when our first joint reaches 90?
Then you get to the next.
You go to our next, exactly, perfect. So quarter slide is pretty much where your upper body is going to be at 90, okay? So, or your hip rather, so to stay consistent. So